What up, what up, what up? What up and welcome to our YouTube channel.
Our YouTube channel. Hi guys.
What's up, man? Hope everyone's doing well.
I'm trying to breathe.
All right, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. It's me, my sugar plum. Sugar plum. All right, we've got to get through this because Sun's sleeping upstairs and we've got the girls convinced that they can play with the phone. And hopefully,
until we finish this.
To finish this and hopefully that'll mix them
I
up.
feel like my hair is just not cooperating with
I
me.
know, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Check yourself, cuz. All right, so look, we're gonna get straight into it.
Oh wait, I wanted to say something first.
Serious? No. What is it?
No, if you have watched our first episode of our YouTube show series, whatever so you asked, you're like, oh, what's the name of it? And I was like, I don't know. We didn't know. And then we just called it Kini and NaNa.
Do you have a name now?
I have a name now.
Oh, you didn't tell me before this.
I told you that before.
Oh, what is it?
Remember?
Sorry.
D&M drives with NaNa and Kini. Is that gay?
Oh, yeah.
But the reason why I call it that is because it's called D&M drives with NaNa and Kini, even though we're not in the car. Even though we're usually in the car, but that's where we have like our deep conversations, is when we're going for our drives. So we don't get to date much. We have 4 children now, so you know we don't get.
You got 4 kids?
You got 4 kids.
Damn.
So you know we don't get to go out on solo dates. So our drives are our thing, and that's where we usually get to have our deep combos.
What about now?
Okay, so yeah, so welcome to D&M Drives.
Welcome to D&M Drives, baby.
With NaNa and Kini. And what episode is it?
It's an episode that we forgotten.
Hang on. Episode 7.
Episode 7, lucky 7. All right, let's get straight into it. So, what's the topic of this talk conversation, D&M with Kini and NaNa?
We are going to be talking about a topic that's a dark topic, I would say. It's a confronting topic, and it's an uncomfortable topic, I think, for some, and that's human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
Didn't even know that was like happening.
A thing. Yeah. So we're going to talk about human trafficking, child trafficking, just what it's about. Basically it's to spread awareness.
So you want to bring awareness to this?
Yeah.
Forgot to bring tissues.
We don't need tissues. Yeah, so yeah, how did we first come across this topic, or this, I'm not even sure what we should call it. How did we come across this?
Did I come across it? You came across it. You did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So we maybe we'll do another episode on this. We work from home, or you work from home, I should say. And one of our mentors is
Russell Brunson. You showed him.
Russell Brunson, who's like a marketing guru, but he put out this trailer of this documentary that he funded.
Maybe you can tag it in this.
I'll tag it. But he put out this trailer to this documentary that he funded for an organization called Operation Underground Railroad, which is an organization created to end human trafficking, which is basically when you take someone against their will, like you coerce them, or you kind of force them into doing things such as labor, sex slavery, and even organ harvesting.
Wow. And we're talking more like you kind of fell through this because of Children's trafficking.
Yeah, because it was child trafficking. Like this organization, this team was going on missions, and this is what the documentary is about. It's called Operation Toussaint. And it's a documentary that follows Tim Ballard, who is the creator of it, who's the founder.
Phenomenal.
He is my hero.
For you, I was your hero.
No, he is my hero.
Well, hopefully one day I could be that hero.
And anyways, and so he put up the trailer that he funded, and it was a documentary on what Tim Ballard.
So they're a non-profitable organization.
It's a non-profit organization. So anyways, he put out the trailer, and I remember coming across it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is an actual thing.
Yeah.
I thought it only happened in movies. I'm like, how did I not know that?
And I think maybe that during that time, what's that Taken movie?
Yeah, that Taken movie.
Yeah,
I think it was like Taken 2 or something, with the guys take the daughter.
Yeah.
And they like sell her off.
Yeah.
Like,
and they drug them up.
They drug them up and things like that.
That's a pretty good movie too.
Yeah. So
not that part, but like the whole action part.
Yeah. So I think when I came across, I was like, what the heck? Like, this is an actual thing.
This is happening.
But this is happening to children.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what we want to do before we get more into it, and kind of before we talk more about it, and I think set the tone. I want to be able to set the tone because I speak to my wife and we kind of plan this out, and I know for her it's not an easy thing to talk about, and you guys are going to kind of understand why. But I just want to say, babe, I really adore you, and I really adore your courage to first of all start the YouTube channel. Crazy, about 6 months ago.
Yeah. I wanted to do a podcast, but I felt this was more out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. I think we've got about 1 million subscribers now.
1,000,001.
Yeah, no, like you only see like 100. I'm like, man, it looks like there's zeros, like 8 figures there. Anyways, so look, before we continue talking more about our rescue and talking about Tim Ballard and the purpose of this video, why are you so passionate? Why are you so passionate about sharing this, and why do you feel so attracted to it? Why is it such a strong thing to you?
Okay, I think first off, I just kind of want to say why now? Why now are we speaking about this? Yeah. This is something that we've wanted to speak about. But I think just in like the recent weeks, I think I've just come to learn just how massive child trafficking is. Like, we've followed the organization for a couple of years now, but I think just within the last couple of weeks, like I've just come to learn of like high profile people and all of that, and that stuff people would deem as like conspiracies or whatever. And this isn't what that is about. This is solely to focus on human trafficking. But I think that really fired me up, because I'm like, what? Like, people in power like are involved with child trafficking, with human trafficking. I think just really fired me up. But when I came across Underground, Operation Underground Railroad, or Our Rescue, it was a cause that really, like nothing else has really hit home for me, and you know that. When you understand that like these kids, I want to paint the picture for you, like these kids are taken from their homes. Sometimes they're kidnapped. Sometimes they're actually sold by their own parents, relatives, friends even. And then when you think about that, and then when you think about like how they're used as like to have, like sex with and things like that, and to think how young they are. I know what that's like.
Mm.
I think I was going to share it this way. I was supposed to be a blog. Anyways, but here we are. I was sexually abused as a child and even as a teenager. And like how that experience has affected me,
Mm-hmm.
It really affects like your life, your view of life, your view on yourself. And
Yeah.
I think when I think about those kids, I'm like, wow, man.
Wow.
What I've gone through compared to what these kids have gone through or are going through, it's like nothing.
Yeah.
Like what I went through is nothing compared to that. But when I think about the effects that what I went through had on me, I'm just like, man, what about the effects of like what they're experiencing or what they've experienced? Like, what about that?
Yeah.
Like, and for me, like, I feel like I'm all right. Like, I have the gospel, I have knowledge of like who the Savior is and how I can use his atonement and, things like that can help me heal. But for these kids, they're so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And they're lonely and they don't have that support.
Yeah.
And for me, I think being a victim of sexual abuse, that really hits home for me.
Yeah.
So when I see people, or when I learn of people who are in power and, high profile people, it burns me, it fires me out, because I'm like, how can people be so evil?
Yeah.
How can
such young kids?
Innocent. Like we have kids, and I can't even imagine, like you've said so yourself, like you wouldn't know what you would do if that happened.
Yeah.
What happened to me
100%.
happened to the girls or something, like, let alone being trafficked.
Yeah.
So just that thought, that's why that cause and that topic, I'm so passionate about it, because of my own experience and because I feel like I can just relate on the most minor scale ever. Like, it's so minor compared to what those babies go through. So, sorry, that was so ugly, but that's why I'm passionate about human trafficking, child trafficking.
Yep.
I think I need to breathe because I can't breathe.
I'm speechless here. Honestly. I'm speechless because we've been through our own struggles within the last couple of years. So we've got to do another episode in regards to that. But
that's not what this is about.
It's not about.
I just wanted to kind of share that because I want to highlight why I'm passionate about it, and I want to share it in this video, like how this is relevant to us. Like we might not think that it's relevant to us. Like we might just think that it happens overseas and things like that. But no, these things happen like right under our noses, whether on that scale or on like a minor scale of like what happened to me. So.
But before we continue, babe, I just want to say I'm really proud of you. Can you give a kiss? I'll give you a kiss. No, honestly, I'm proud of you. It's been so proud of you that you shared that. yeah, like I said, with so much to share about your journey of being to be to this point where you're actually saying it out loud and you're telling people about what's happened, your experience.
Supposed to vlog about it.
Just supposed to vlog about it.
I can hide behind words.
Yeah, but I'm very, I'm inspired by you, man. Honestly, I'm inspired. Thank you for motivating, inspiring me.
Thank you.
So selfless. It's beautiful. Okay, and so yeah, we'll talk about that. So much to talk about. But yeah, I think that's going into what we're going to talk about. That's your drive.
That's my drive.
Yeah. So can you, now that we've that's your why, and so tell us a bit more about Tim Ballard and what he does and what's actually happening. Maybe let's talk about the problem. Like, what's actually happening right now? What is happening?
Kids are being trafficked, or they're being sold. They're being used. They're being bought.
People are selling kids.
People are selling kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
As young as what?
6 months.
6 months.
Even Tim Ballard even has stories of like from birth, where kids are actually taken literally from birth, from the hospital, being told that their kid has passed away, and then being taken to like an orphanage where they're like actually sold, where they're actually trafficked out. That's the story of that girl from Romania.
Wow. So kids have been sold to other humans.
Yeah.
And pedophiles, predators, and these kids, or not just kids, women, teenagers are sold and used as sex slaves.
Yeah. So this is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world. This is $1 billion industry.
$1 billion industry a year.
Yeah.
Annually.
Yeah. Not even drugs.
Drugs is $1 billion industry.
Yeah, but not even drugs is.
It's this fast.
It's this fast.
Yeah, so it's escalated so fast.
Yeah.
Now that we know of it, because no one knew of it.
Yeah, so it's one of the reasons why it's so fast growing is because no one knows about it. So many
it's
people. It's
just like swept under the carpet.
Yes, it's so many people just blind to it, like they just don't know. So when you don't know, you can't help anything.
It might happen, you just don't know that
it's happening. You just don't know that it's happening. So
you're saying that kids are being taken, they've been taken, are they being taken just in third world countries, or is it happening in Australia?
Yeah.
New Zealand, America?
Yes, all over the world. America's huge. Utah is huge.
And I think you said like America's #1.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are paying. They're the ones that are buying these children.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the highest. So it's really scary. And when you think about it, like the reason why it does so well is because unlike drugs, when you use it, yeah? You use it, it's finished. But with kids, they can be resold and sold.
Really?
They can be resold. They can be used.
Like so there's some, the freaking idiots out there. They'd be so mad about this. But so some people like certain ages. So some people like young ones, young kids.
Yeah.
And then when they get to a certain age, they don't like that. Then there's people that want like a more.
Yeah. And I think that's
different ages.
Yeah. There's also people who like who want, like, if they have like certain fantasies. We're talking about sex trafficking here, sex slavery. Like if they have like fantasies about having it with a person of a different like ethnic background.
Specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll do that. Like they'll go.
So when Anna was telling me about this, it's like people want different, like, products, right? Like, so people want Apple, people want, what's the Samsung. So in the industry of sex trafficking, they want different ages, different cultures, different height, different color skin, and they're fantasizing, and these people will pay up to a lot of money.
Yeah.
to be able to acquire these kids.
Yeah.
And use them as slaves.
Yeah. And then there's also the thing like if a child is a virgin. So the price of the value of a child, or the value of a young woman, or is dependent on that as well. There's I think it's in Operation Toussaint where they go in, where Tim goes in and he is like, oh, how much is that one? And then the guy's like, oh, she's a virgin, 1K a night. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie, but like 1K.
Yeah, it's like
I'm just like, what the? It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable that it's actually happening under.
But it's like that much, really? Like, and people pay this. That's the thing, is people pay this. Like, that's how sick people are. Do you know what I mean? Like, people actually travel. They would actually travel countries to go and get these children, these women and these children. You know, so it's a very sick and twisted world. Like, it's so hard to believe that could happen, that people would want to engage in sexual acts with children. You know, that people would want to, put them to labor, and then there's organ harvesting, which I'm still learning a little bit about. But yeah, just sex slavery, and just like so sickening. Yeah. So it's like the question is like, okay, we know that it's the fastest growing. We know it's $1 billion industry. We know that.
Wasn't there cases in Australia that just happened?
Yeah,
in New South Wales?
Yeah. So there was just a case here where they made a bust of bringing 14
kids in New South Wales.
Across New South Wales. It was across 3 states, and 9 people, 9 adults.
So they had kids that were slaves, sex slaves.
Sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking.
So, like, it happens, It happens. Yeah, happens online. There's ads on it. Like, it's really sick. So when you kind of think about it, it's like, what gets a person to that stage? Like, how do these people become like so like sick in the head that they would want to just, what you would usually do with another adult, they would want to do to kids? And I think
that's a good question.
What we share is what we've studied and what we know from Tim Ballard from Underground Railroad. And he talks about the connection between pornography and child trafficking. Yeah. Or between that and sex slavery. So he speaks about, And
I think this is a conversation we had before. I think
we've been meaning to have a conversation.
Yeah, and I think that's why people need to understand, like, and I think I want you to explain this, but I think, for me as a man, especially as a man, father, and then like married man, this is why pornography is extremely bad. This is why you got to be careful.
That's why the church.
That's why the church talks about heavier. It's one of those that path leads towards that.
Yeah. And that sounds so dramatic.
It sounds dramatic.
Sounds dramatic, but that's really how it is.
And so explain like what Tim Ballard was saying.
So Tim Ballard talks about.
So Tim Ballard is the CEO.
Yes, CEO. Which he is. Can I just quickly say he is seriously the man. So Tim Ballard, he actually used to do undercover work for.
It's like FBI.
Yeah, FBI. He worked like Homeland Security, and he did cases like this. And then he learnt about a kid that went missing, but he was a kid of the bishop in Utah.
His church.
So the kid's name is Gardy, and his father's Gesno. And what happened was the little boy Gardy was taken from the chapel.
At church.
At church, from a friend known to the father, to the bishop, and Yeah, so he was taken in.
They later found out that he was taken.
Yeah,
by.
they later found out who he was taken by and whatnot. So Tim Ballard came across that story, met with the father, and he asked Bishop, like, what are you doing about it? Like you know, what's happening? And the father he asked him a question. He asked, do you have children? And then Tim Ballard's like, yeah, I have children. And then he's like, well, what wouldn't you do? What would you do if that was your child? And then Tim Ballard's like, well, everything, like anything, I would do anything. And then, you know, the bishop goes on to explain, like, well, that's exactly what he's doing. He goes to work and then he comes from work and then he just like walks the streets. He like just travels the streets and just hopes that he'll find the son.
Can't do much. He doesn't really know what to do.
And Tim Ballard was really touched by that. And he's like, no, there's more that we can do. Like, I will help you find your son. But they couldn't turn it into an American case, a US case, because the kid was taken into Haiti. So Tim left his job.
Yeah. So that's when he left his job and he created his...
he told his wife, and his wife said, you got to do it.
Wow.
Leave your job.
Wow.
So he left it, and that started that organization. And so when they set out to go on that mission and to try and rescue Gotti, they didn't end up finding him, but in return they found 28 kids.
Wow.
And they came back and went to go tell the bishop, like, sorry, I wasn't able to find your kids. Like, we only found 28 others.
Wow.
And the bishop said, why are you crying? Because Tim started crying. He's like, why are you crying? He's like, why are you crying? He's like, if I had to sacrifice my son to find these 28 other kids, then that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
Wow.
So, you know, and then from that rescue, Tim Ballard actually adopted 2 of those kids, which is just, he's such a saint, honestly. He's such a hero. But sorry. Yeah, so he adopted children, and also the bishop adopted some of those children from that. So they haven't, unfortunately, found Gotti even to this day.
That's his family. But then those are the 2.
The 2 ones at the front. So cute. That's with Tim's mum. I feel like we just like know his family.
No, it's cool about social media.
But yeah, they're both such heroes, and they just do such amazing work.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, so what they do is they go out there and they go in.
They go undercover,
So it's a non-profit organization. So they go out there and they go and rescue. They go on these missions. Is that correct?
Yes.
And they go out there.
They go in and they act as traffickers. I mean, as buyers. Sorry.
April.
They act as buyers, and they sit across
from pedophiles.
Freaking pedophiles and traffickers, and I don't even know how they compose themselves, but they do because they know the bigger mission.
Yeah. But I think, sorry, we're talking about pornography.
Oh yeah.
So you're talking about Tim Ballard and who he is as CEO. So let's come back to, so what does he say about pornography? Oh
yeah, so he talks about like how, you know, it starts kind of when you're young, or, you know, when you first come across pornography. You know, you pick it up maybe as like a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you might pick up he says like a Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of like get into it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the internet comes along. And it's just so much more accessible. Yeah. Click of a button, like you have access to whatever. And then it gets to the point where you just like consume, that it becomes numb to you, that you're like, okay, I need something else to kind of give me that fix, or kind of give me that, I don't know, that feeling or whatever. So then you start to indulge in like
different
younger,
ways.
Into younger, like you go from adults to like young adults.
Yeah.
You go from young adults to teenagers.
Wow.
Watching, you know, porn over like, you know, teenage porn, to children.
Yeah.
Child porn. And that's so sick. Like, and then it gets to that point where even that becomes numb, that you then try to go out and you try to get the real thing.
They want
the real thing.
Yeah. And I think I just want to kind of mention, like, I think this shouldn't be an awkward conversation. I think people who are watching this, like, don't feel like this might be the first time you've heard of it. You know, we're talking about pornography, but I think it's real. It's happening, and I think we need to be mindful. I think there needs to be more conversation. I think maybe the reason why you probably look at us and we talk about it so casually is because we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about it all the time. Maybe you talk with your partner, and maybe you don't. I think it's important, extremely important, to have open conversations, especially about pornography, as a couple, and especially as men, to understand, brother, if you're watching pornography, and you might not be addicted to it, but you might watch it.
Not be addicted to it.
But down the path, what happens is, like she was saying, or Timbala was saying, it comes to a point where you need something. It's like you want something that's a lot more fresh and enticing. So you look at different ways.
It's like watching it becomes not enough.
Not enough, and then you look for a different, you know, kind of fix or a buzz, and then it gets to a point where you're going down to an age that's
just can't even
comprehend, and then it gets to a point where you want the real thing.
Yeah.
That's how these pedophiles, that's the cycle that they go through. It's sickening, but it starts just from watching pornography. They're probably just watching pornography.
And even who you're watching.
Wow. Yeah.
Even who you're watching, like, how do you know that they're not trafficked? And that you might just watch it and be like, oh yeah, they chose.
Yeah. How
do you know that? You don't know. Like, you don't know if they're being rude to do that. You know, you don't know if they're being threatened to do that.
Exactly.
You know. So.
And I think that's the one thing that we, you know, that's the one thing you got to be mindful of when you watch pornography. That the girls that you are watching, they're probably they're the ones that have been trafficked. They're the ones that have been tested. They're the ones that have been groomed at a young age. They're the ones that probably been drugged up. You're watching a child that's probably missing for the last 10, 20 years. It's getting to that point.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, that's very like pornography and consuming pornography or indulging in pornography, however you want to say it. I think I only told you this recently.
Yeah. Bring it to me.
Aw, hello, boy. But do you remember when I first showed you that video of Tim?
Yeah.
And he spoke about that. Remember we're at the
April,
please. We're doing video, okay? Yeah. And remember when I first showed you that
go upstairs,
video?
April, with the phone.
Remember when I first showed you that video?
Yeah.
And I didn't tell you then. I told you recently, like very recently. I told you. But when I watched that, and I don't know if you remember, I got so fired up about it because I'm like, that is so true. Pornography does lead to that. Because one of my abusers, I knew for a fact was into pornography.
Wow.
You know? And that could have been a possible cause of, like, why that person abused me.
Wow.
You know, so that, think twice about pornography, guys, seriously.
Yeah.
It's not a light, it's definitely not a light.
And I think, like, you know, I would definitely, you know, for those couples that are watching this, like, have a conversation with your partner. You know, wives, have a conversation with your husband. Like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I've been down that road, and you know, I did experience that. And I think the best thing for me was just having a conversation and understanding this whole concept. It's not just pornography. They're not just prostitutes. They might be someone that's missing. They might be someone that's been trafficked or sold, someone that's been taken from some family, and they're groomed, you know, like, so be mindful and understand, like, your marriage can lead to this heavy burden if you're not careful and if you're not having open conversations.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So we've spoken about, you know, first of all, you've shared why you're so passionate about this. And then we've spoken about Tim Ballard.
Yeah.
We talked about our rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we talked about, you know, the sex trafficking is happening right now everywhere in the world, in Australia, in New Zealand. It's $1 billion industry annually. Cool. And so,
what can we do to?
What can we do?
What can we do to stop it? You know, I think I think one of the great ways that something that we can do about it is we can learn about it.
Yeah. So you're gonna add some links here, to this channel?
Yep. So if you go into Our Rescue, the website, there's actually a training, a free training. There's actually a free training that you can take that helps you to recognize the signs of someone who's being trafficked. And I think it's so important to. I think it's so important to just because you just never know, right? Like.
So there's training on there in regards to how to spot if someone may be sexually abused or someone might be
trafficked or
Cool.
So there's signs that you can recognize. We won't get into it. Like you can.
Yeah, we'll put the links below.
We'll put the links below.
So go out and educate yourselves on it, and you have any
and
questions?
Then it talks about like how to respond. To it. So you can actually do that. It's only an hour training. It's like about 10 videos. So there's that. Like, but I think when we become aware of something, we're able to actually do more about it. We can become involved. We can donate. You can.
So I know that there's the special day coming up this month. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so on the 30th of July is the World Day for Trafficking Awareness. So that's on the 30th of July. And Tim Ballard, he's kind of issued a kind of invitation to get loud about it, to really get loud about it. And I really feel that call. Last year, I posted stuff, but I just feel like in recent times, like I've posted a lot about it. But so we're gonna do something.
What are we gonna do?
So I'm going to actually run a fundraiser under Our Rescue. And I want to raise funds from now to the 30th, and I have a goal.
So there's with Our Rescue, who's the non-profitable organization. You have an ability to create like a GoFundMe. It's under them, it's not under us, but volunteers, because just kind of the context. They're non-profitable, so they rely a lot on sponsorship. They rely on other people, donating to be able to help these guys
go out on missions,
pay for travel. So how much does it cost? How much does it cost to be able to go on a mission? How much does it cost for a team to go out there to be able to save a child?
For one operation or one mission, it's like 50 to 70K.
50 to 70K, guys.
And they can save up to like 1 to 50 children, which is amazing, but it's still a lot of money,
Yeah, so if you want to, so it's about 50 to 70,000. It takes them as an organization, team, travel, correspondence, all that stuff to be able to save one child or possibly even more. So they rely heavily on donations. So that's why they have this kind of option where you can create a GoFund kind of thing under them. And because of that, and because on the 30th, it's such a big day, like that's a day of,
bringing awareness.
So, if you guys can share this video, that would be awesome. But also with that, Nana wanted to do something.
Yes, so I have a goal. I'm actually going to create it via my Facebook page.
Okay.
The fundraiser. So I want to raise 1,000 Australian dollars for Our Rescue from now to the 30th. And whatever is raised, I'm going to match it.
Ooh.
Some money. No, but I'm going to match it.
Yeah.
So 1K is the goal, guys.
So $1,000 is the goal to be able to raise for this cause by the 30th.
Yeah.
And
the purpose of it, guys, is I really want to bring awareness to this. You know, I really want to get people talking. I want more people to actually
understand what's happening.
Be mindful, guys. Like, know the signs. You know, like even if it's like not even if it's not helping bust a trafficking ring, like you could just be possibly saving someone from like sexual abuse.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like these children are literally our most vulnerable in society, and they don't have anyone to speak up for them. You know, like no one's fighting for them. We should be fighting for them. You know, so I really want to. Yes, I really want to do this fundraiser. I want you guys to share it, help us raise 1K. We will match it.
Whatever money we can, look, whatever you guys can contribute, that will be awesome. If it's $5, $10, if you know, the more the better. And look, if you can't, we understand. Please, if anything, just share it. Share this video, share a post. Share the link. Let's do it together, man. This is for our children.
Be more educated.
You know, or just get educated yourself and be mindful, because, or even just like I said earlier, have a conversation with your partner. I think have an open conversation. Have continuing conversations about this.
Let's not make this a taboo.
Yeah, and it's not a taboo topic. It's real. What's happening? You know, Satan wants us to be taboo. No, like let's stand up, man. Let's face this. And so.
Let's wake up, guys.
Yeah, if you guys can support that would be phenomenal. Like I said,
please share this video. Share. If you go to my Facebook page, I'll put a link below. Donate what you can, or if you don't want to donate to the fundraiser that I'll hold, like just go to the website and you can donate that way. You can even sign up for monthly donations. But yeah, I want to do that.
Awesome.
We'll get loud.
Let's get loud, guys. And I think it's a good cause. I think it's actually, you know, for us, for the kids. So whatever contribution you can contribute to this, we have a goal of $1,000 which is less than two weeks. It might happen, it might not happen, but at least we're going to give it a try. And whatever we do come up with, whatever you guys do, whatever you guys do come up with, we'll match it. Yeah. So. Much love. And baby, thank you. So proud of you. Do you feel like they've given you that strength? Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that next time. Much love.
Check out the links. We'll put all the links there. Follow Timber, follow Our Rescue. There's many other organizations. They have a sister organization called Nazarene Fund. But yeah, just start there, educate, spread awareness. Let's donate, let's get loud.
Much love. See you guys soon.
Y'all.